saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your guy, Coach I. What it do, people? Hey, this is the Texas A&M versus Arkansas preview. And Arkansas fans, yes, I heard you. I saw your comments. I know my guy Zach, Razorback Zach, is a good dude. He messed up on some stuff that you shouldn't mess up on as a fan. I get it. I heard your complaints and your requests, and I brought on another Arkansas fan. This is Marlon Frazier from the Hog Wild podcast on YouTube, man. What's going on, Marlon?
Woo pig. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate the opportunity for coming on to the Fanatic. I'm a big fan of your content, and I enjoy watching and learning about your Georgia Bulldogs, man. And I appreciate the opportunity and the hospitality to allow a humble Razorback fan like myself come on and say what I have to say about my Hogs, man.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you taking the time out, man. Tell everybody where they can find you, Marlon.
Well, you can find me at The Hog Wild Podcast on YouTube, of course, The Hog Wild Podcast on Twitter, The Hog Wild Podcast on Instagram, and also The Hog Wild Podcast on Patreon. We also have some of our older content uploaded onto any of your favorite podcasting platforms, such as Apple Podcasts. All of those things, man, but just tap in with me and get your Hog Wild fix, man. But there is only one Hog Wild podcast.
There it is, people. You want to get that content about the Razorbacks, man. Check him out. All right, man, we ain't gonna waste y'all time, man. Let's talk about college football week 3 recap when it concerns the Aggies and the Razorbacks, man. The Razorbacks. I watched it yesterday, but of course you know how it is on Saturdays, man. Sometimes you watching 2, 3, 4 games, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I seen it, but I didn't see it, but I went back and watched it today.
Yeah.
Y'all had 3. First of all, let's just y'all had 3 defensive backs out. You know what I'm saying? I'm due to injury. I don't know how long, and maybe you can expand on how long they're going to be out. But that really hurt y'all in the beginning against a wide open offense, because that's what Bobby Petrino does. He spreads you wide and then hits you where there's openings. So how was you feeling, man, after y'all dropped down 17-0, man?
Man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Now, the loss of let's address the loss of the DBs first. Because a lot of our fan base right now is in panic mode because they feel as though the defensive backs that we have won't be sufficient. I don't agree with that. Yeah. But the loss of Jalen Catalon is huge due to the fact that he was the brain in the back end of our defense. Not only was he a hard hitter, but he was also great in pass coverage because he hit so hard that he could dislodge the ball at any point in time. Like his breaks on the way he broke on the ball and toward the ball was next to none in the SEC. But the fact that he had a shoulder injury in game 1, I mean, he hurt his shoulder last year versus Ole Miss. I believe it was injured before that, but he missed the majority of the 2021 season. But this year he hurt his shoulder again against Cincinnati, and now he's out for the season. Currently contemplating retirement. Yeah, he's currently contemplating retirement, which I can't blame him because, man, when you love the game so much and you can't play to your top ability, I mean, it kind of takes away that luster. But I mean, my prayers go out to him, man. We support you in Razorback Nation, man, and Jalen get better soon. But Miles Slusher had somewhat of a concussion in game 1, man. He ended up breaking on a tight end on a crossing route against Cincinnati, and I think he got a stinger, man. But I thought it looked like he passed out. But he stayed on the ground for about 15, 20 minutes. But he got up on his feet and walked out. But I think that he'll be back this week. So keep that in mind, Razorback Nation. But man, to bring it back to that 17-0 deficit, the first thing that I thought when we went down 17-0 is that we're still good. Because for one thing that I knew for fact is that Bobby Petrino was going to come in here swinging because he had a personal vendetta. You know what I'm saying? The thing that people don't understand about Bobby Petrino, or you may understand, is that he takes things personal, but he's not going to say it in public. You know what I mean? he is gonna give you everything that he has because he knows that he's smarter than you and he can outcoach you, and that's exactly what he did. He had Missouri State ready. When I tell you they had what was their quarterback's name?
Shelley. He's a transfer from Utah.
Hey, he is serious. And I'm telling you like this, if they continue to play like that in their division, they're going to win. Because one thing he did is outcoached us. And they outplayed us in the first half. And I feel like Arkansas we had our hands in our pocket. You know how whenever you start something not serious, you know what I mean? Let's say you're playing a game of Madden or something, and you want to win a streak right now. Man, I'm not going to take this serious. You don't play as hard. And I feel like that's what Arkansas did, and they got Missouri State's best shot. And one thing led to another. KJ fumbled. Then we had a deep pass down to Keytron Jackson, 70-something yards. He went down at the 1 yard line. Then Rocket fumbled on the 1 yard line in the end zone.
Going into the end zone.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just a momentum thing, and it snowballed into the point that it got serious. Like, yo, we need to snap out of this. And that's what we tried to do. But the more we snapped out of it, Bobby Petrino was already a step ahead because he was scheming the entire time because he knew that if we keyed on the run, he was going to then pass it. But one thing that we haven't seen a lot this year is somebody throwing first down instead of running the ball, and that's exactly what he did. He stayed to his game plan the entire time. He didn't flinch, and he definitely coached a hell of a game. And man, you got to give Bobby Petrino props on that.
Yeah, he definitely did, man. And you're right. A lot of times as 18 to 22-year-olds, man, you can start to feel yourself a little bit. You know, you've heard Kirby and Nick Saban talk about the rat poison.
Right.
You know, it can infiltrate even if everybody not talking about you. All you know is you see 2-0, 3-0. You like, we just show up. It's Missouri State. But then, like you say, once they got focused, I always used to tell my basketball teams, listen, man, don't let a team hang around because now they believe. And now you wasn't playing serious then, but now you playing serious. But they already in their bag. They done, they
already in their rhythm.
They done got juiced up, man, and that's what it was. But at the end of the day, man, y'all came away with a dub. You got to win tight games regardless of what it is. I will note that Missouri State has like 48 transfers, I think, and 26 of those transfers are from the FBS level. Including one that used to play for the Arkansas, the George kid. Jones.
Yeah, he's from Smackover, man. That Smackover is actually about 15 to 20 minutes away from my hometown, man.
Yeah, man. So
you know what I mean? I know all about the Smackover Buckaroos. Or what they? I think they're the Buckaroos, man.
Hey, but y'all came out with the dub, man. Texas A&M came out with the W. They had a hard fought game against a scrappy Miami team. Yeah. Texas A&M was missing about 4 players for suspension. One of which is Evan Stewart, the second leading receiver. 2 receivers, 2 DBs. They again a tough game, but they came out to win. They changed quarterbacks, which I thought Max Johnson personally should have been starting from the beginning, but that's just my opinion because I feel like he's a better overall passer than Haynes King.
Right.
So now you ask. The good thing is they didn't make that switch, this week, so you didn't have any film on. But now y'all have some film on Max Johnson, man. So let's get into that.
Right.
On defending this offense. One thing I noticed in the first half that y'all did better in the second half against Missouri State is while y'all were down 3 DBs, y'all had some good coverage. They was in position. It was some bad tackling. Really bad tackling.
Yeah.
And you guys definitely going to have to shore that up going against A-Chain. You know what I'm saying? And Anias Williams, you know what I'm saying?
I agree 100% because when you got track stars, man, I mean, one thing you can't coach is speed. And the thing that Texas A&M has is track stars, a multitude of them.
Literal.
You understand what I'm saying? And the thing that the biggest matchup that I'm interested in this game is going to be our cornerbacks. I think they're going to key in on Hudson Clark because he was one of our most stable cornerbacks. I'm interested to see what their receivers are going to do against our cornerbacks because people have said throughout fall camp that Hudson Clark was our weakest link, but he's our most sound corner. He just doesn't. He's just not agile. He can't cut laterally. He doesn't have a lot of breakaway speed. So if somebody gets past him or if somebody's coming at him, he can't stop and go on a dime. You know what I'm saying? But as far as coverage is concerned, he's solid. But I'm interested to see what they do as far as that matchup is concerned.
I'm pretty sure Jimbo gonna try to scheme up something where he can get his speedsters in a long ball situation against him. like honestly, like I say, I'm watching the game Saturday, man. You guys are in phase. You're in the right spots, but a lot of times it was a one-on-one situation, and you just didn't make the tackle. And with Texas A&M, I watch Miami like just fall all over A-Chain every time he touched the ball because he's making everybody miss. So I'm like, that's what I want to see. I want to see if the tackling is better because when it comes to the box, Drew Sanders and Bumper Pool, man, do we need to say? That's what I'm saying. Like
Texas A&M, I'm telling you like this: if Texas A&M is able to run the ball on us consistently, I will be surprised. I feel like their entire game plan is going to be surrounded around getting their players, their speedsters, the ball in space because they saw last week that we had trouble catching speed. We had trouble wrapping up speed. And I feel like to counter that, Arkansas on the defensive side of the ball for us, we're going to have to get to the quarterback.
I was just about to say that y'all have to make Max Johnson uncomfortable.
Yes, sir.
Maybe even disguise some coverages so it takes him a little bit longer to process before he makes that initial throw. Because if you can do that, like I said, I'm not so sure. I'm not thinking that H-Chain gonna have a lot of success between the tackles. But if he gets on the edge and we can, you can at least slow Bumper Pool down, and now it's a safety or a corner in H-Chain. That's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah, because last year, man, we had a lot of trouble with scrambling quarterbacks. Like, it was horrible. Like, Ole Miss last year, what was their quarterback's name?
Matt Corral.
Matt Corral made us look crazy last year. Now, that was an all-time game, but at the same time, if we would have been able to contain his agility, his elusiveness, we would have been able to – I think we would have won that game. But I think that Texas A&M's current quarterback – he's not as agile. I mean, he can extend plays to a certain extent, but
he's not Matt Corral, though.
No, I feel like if we're able to actually make him uncomfortable and kind of mix it up a little bit, because Drew Sanders is going to get there, Jordan Dominic is going to get there. You know what I'm saying? I think we had 8 sacks last night. I mean,
and I think safety Johnson, number 8.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson.
He comes down.
He had about 2. I think
he's good in the run game too. He's good. He's very, very sound in the run game. So, like you said, I think Max Johnson. He's not a statue or nothing, but it ain't like he not trying to roll out of the pocket and run, run or nothing like that. Like Missouri State quarterback had some wheels on him.
Oh yeah, Shelley was built different. I feel like Shelley could actually play in the SEC if he had the right team around him.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, he came from Utah. Like I said, he was Division I already, so in Power 5. So he was a backup. So
he was putting the ball on a dime too, just like that catch to Jordan Jones on the sideline that almost scored. Then,
he did.
Then that 4th and 1 when we bit on that run and he tossed it over the safety to for that touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
he
was
balling.
Was a beautiful ball.
Yeah, and that was a good. I mean, I think that's good that y'all got to see somebody that athletic and could throw the ball, like I say, and to go against an offensive mind like a Petrino, because listen, Jimbo has always been said to be an offensive guy, but I mean, some Aggie fans are, I don't know about that, but he ain't Petrino.
No, let me tell you this: if Bobby Petrino had the talent that Jimbo Fisher has right now, he would be a national championship coach.
I could definitely see that.
There is no question about that. I don't care what anybody says. Bobby Petrino is a top 20 coach in college football, even right now, even 10 years later after he left Arkansas. I don't care what anybody says, because that man is an offensive mastermind.
That's right. Bad human, maybe not the best human being, but he's a great coach.
Not the best. Hey, sometimes the best people are better at what they do. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it like this. On that 4th and 1 where Drew Sanders absolutely smashed that running back on that 3rd and 1, and then to come back right back on that 4th and 1, and we bit on that run, he tossed it right over the top to go back up 24-17.
Almost like a setup, because he knew you would stop it, and then you would go for that same. That's a lot of the good offensive minds show you a play early, just so they can come back to the play and do something different, because they know your eyes gonna tell you it's the same as that play.
Exactly. So exactly, and but I tell you this: if it hadn't been for Rocket Sanders and that punt return, we would have lost that game. I'm telling you. And I was already in my mind thinking, like, golly, man, how am I going to talk about this on the podcast, man? How am I going to have this conversation? Because I didn't feel like it would have been the end of our season, because I honestly feel like Arkansas's season right now was following the exact same pattern as last year. We started out slow against Rice. Then we came back and whooped on Texas. Then we got drugged by Georgia. And then, you know what I'm saying? And it was just, I feel like it's following that same pattern to a certain degree. And here we are, man. But I didn't mean to talk go too long, man. But I get long-winded sometimes.
Hey, that's how it is, man. That mean, hey, listen, I can already tell, man, I'm about to get you on the live stream too, man. So when we don't have no time limit at all, and we just talk ball, man. Yeah. But let's flip to the other side, man, because you guys do get the ball and that offense is rolling, man. You got Sanders. Yeah. Sanders is, I ain't checked no stats as far as the total conference, but I'm almost positive if I did it right now, Sanders got to be top 3 in rushing.
He is. He's actually number 4 in the nation right now. I looked at the stats earlier. So that would make him number 1 in the SEC. He has currently 66 attempts for 440 yards.
I knew without looking, just watching the games, that he was either the leader in the SEC or definitely, like I say, top 3, because that dude has been listen, man, that dude been a lifesaver, man. That dude, you know what I'm saying? Because what even like some of these up-tempo offenses, like fans don't understand, like you still have to be able to run the ball at some point in time, because if the defense don't respect it, they can just tee off on your quarterback. But KJ been good. You got, I'm going to be honest, man, I knew Hazelwood would be good as long as he could be healthy. As a Georgia fan, I hadn't watched Matt Landers since he left Athens. He went to Toledo for a year, and now he's back. And actually, Matt Landers is looking now how Georgia fans expected him to look when he first came to Athens. Like, maybe he just sometimes you need to change the environment, you know what I'm saying? But now he's looking like the receiver that we wanted him to be, and that's helping y'all, you know what I'm saying? You got two guys 6'3". I think Matt Landers 6'5", and he runs like a 4.5, 4.4. And
they say that when he has the ball in his hands, he's actually faster. You know what I'm saying? Because he has long legs. He's 6'5". You know what I mean? And he's tall. I mean, he's just tall and lanky. You know what I mean? He's slender. But I feel like offensively, man, I don't even feel like we've scratched the surface.
Okay.
I think that Sam Pittman and Kendall Browse are establishing the identity of the team first, which is the run, because every team that we play is gonna key on our run. We have at least 3 running backs. We got Rocket Sanders, we got Rashad DeBinion, we got AJ Green, and then we got one of our leaders last year, Dominic Johnson. He hadn't even played yet. You know what I mean? And then we got KJ, and I feel like those combination of threats are only going to continue to get better as the chemistry grows with the offensive line. But I didn't anticipate that Rocket would have as many touches and as many yards right now, because last year it was evenly distributed. You know what I mean? Last year, everybody had nearly the same amount of carries and the same amount of touches, but this year Rocket is just taking off, man. And I mean, I can't see Dominic Johnson coming in off his injury and taking that spot.
But not with Rocket playing that good. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if he was kind of like, in the middle of the road. But this dude, you don't want to get somebody cooking and then take them off the burner. You feel me?
And the thing about Rocket is, as the games go, he's actually showing his breakaway speed. I feel like he's getting more comfortable in turning on that jet. Like when he sees that crease, I feel like when he gets past the linebacker, the second level of the defense into that third level, I feel like that's when he's starting to hit his burners, because I feel like when he's actually hitting the hole, he's looking for a crease to get through. But when he starts to get to that hole, he's starting to accelerate much, much faster. And I saw that last night. You know what I mean? That's how he broke away on that screen, because he caught the ball at the line of scrimmage on that shuffle pass.
He's good at breaking tackles too, and he run with power, but you like he can make people miss as well, man. So if Jimbo is the coach that everybody thinks he is, Jimbo's number one goal will be to slow the run, because if you can take, even though you guys are a very balanced offense, if you can take one aspect all the way away, that kind of confuses the offensive course.
It throws us out of rhythm, and that's exactly what happened last night against Missouri State, because I honestly felt like Kendall Browse thought that this would be a game for KJ to display his passing abilities. So instead of us starting to run the ball a lot more last night, KJ was trying to throw the ball. He was he was just sitting in the pocket.
He got sacked one time.
Yeah.
I was like, why didn't he just run the ball? Like,
because a lot of the reason why we do what we do is to display our talent. Like last year, a lot of people think that Treylon Burks, he was the guy. Don't get me wrong, but we targeted him a lot because we knew he had to get drafted. You get what I'm saying? He wasn't going to go in the first round unless he had over 1,000 yards receiving. So we had to make sure he got that. Yeah. Now, a lot of times when he caught the ball, he did what he did, of course. But right now, we thought that last night was going to be an opportunity for KJ to display his passing ability because we already know he can run. And that was a major question for everybody going into this game is, can he really throw? So last night we got out of rhythm because a lot of those times those routes weren't there, those passes weren't there. And then when KJ was trying to stand in the pocket and then last minute run the ball when he didn't already make his mind up to do so, that's when he fumbled the ball and he didn't expect to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like when he got out of his rhythm and he had to think something else aside from running first and then run after you think that you're going to throw the ball, that's when KJ made that mistake and he didn't anticipate. I don't think he anticipated having to run on that play, and I think that's why he fumbled the ball. But just to try to get into a little bit more about our offense, I really do feel like we're just scratching the surface because our receivers hadn't even got going yet, man. You know what I'm saying? Jaden Hazelwood hadn't really got going. Matt Landers has 211 yards on the year. You know what I'm saying?
100 or so that was yesterday.
Yeah. And then Jaden Hazelwood is not far behind at 158. Then you got Rocket Sanders sitting at 117 and then Trey Knox sitting at 110. So we've been distributing the ball. We're just so run heavy. People don't notice that we're actually throwing the ball a little bit too. Yeah. Last night was actually a career high for KJ.
Yeah, and Pittman did a lot of that. He saw a lot of that in Athens, you know what I'm saying? Like where everybody's like they run the ball, but like nah, dog, we effectively throw the ball as well.
Right. And we're very efficient.
Yeah, and Kendall Browse has spent the last 2 years under Pittman working his way up to this tempo offense, and now y'all are like really into the tempo offense. So
and if you notice, man, whenever Arkansas has to call a set play, we don't do very well. But when we get into that tempo, there you can't stop us. Like we literally scored in 16 seconds. We threw a 40-some yard pass to
Landers
to Matt Landers, and then we threw another pass to Jaden Hazelwood, and we did that in 16 seconds. But any type of rhythm we got last night was during tempo. Yeah. If we have to call a set play, it's just not going to work, and especially if our run game is not operating the way it's supposed to, we're going to struggle.
Yeah, and tempo works well after completions and positive yardage. And like you said, like if you like knock down the pass or something like that and it's an incomplete pass, now you got to actually set up. And it's like I say, you're not able to go with that tempo. Then Arkansas is not at its best. You still are pretty good, but it's not like when you go tempo because tempo gets a lot of defenses out of alignment. Right. Because, you know what I'm saying, first of all, you know, you see college, they like to celebrate tackles regardless of how many, because they can't see the yellow line. They don't know how close the guy came to the first down. So they get up celebrating, and then now y'all ready, and then they not ready, and you got a good offensive line. You get pushed on the offensive line, and that creates a lot of positive plays, man. So, all right, man. We got to get down to this prediction, man. Y'all actually listen. Y'all beat these guys last year, man. And I think I was at the bar watching the game, man. I was like, listen, Pitt about to really do this thing, man. I was like, because it wasn't a blowout, but you controlled the game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we want to do. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to control the game. I mean,
so give me your prediction,
man,
and keys to victory.
All right. So looking at these stats, man, I'm going to see Texas A&M averages 20.7 points per game. Arkansas averages 37.7. Yeah. So we obviously have right at a 17-point advantage right there. Time of possession for Texas A&M is a little bit low, but I mean, I think that the keys to victory for Arkansas are going to be controlling the line of scrimmage, establishing our run early, and getting our receivers the ball. I feel like we're going to have to throw the ball a lot more than we previously did. And I also feel like defensive line, I feel like we're also going to have to get to the quarterback to make him uncomfortable early early on
Okay.
because if he can't get into a rhythm, he's obviously not going to be able to sustain offense. But I feel like Arkansas is going to win, man. I'm going to say it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say let's go 35-28 Arkansas,
Okay.
man.
I got you. I think the key to the game for me is whether or not, again, like I said, the Arkansas DBs, because hopefully that they can tackle in space. That's what I want to see. Again, right now, as it stands right now, I'm not worried about the box because y'all got Bumper Pool and y'all got Drew Sanders. They both are playing. I think in another video in this summer, I said that Justin Flo and Noah Sewell were like in the box inside linebackers, best duo in the nation. Bumper Pool and Drew Sanders are vying for that position as it stands right now. So I'm not really worried about that. Now, once they get to the perimeters, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I think Arkansas is going to win this one because Max Johnson hasn't had a chance to really get. When you the backup, you don't get as many reps as the starter. This will be his second week where I don't know. I think at the beginning of last week he kind of was splitting them, and then towards the end of the week he was getting all. But he's number one now. He'll get all those reps. Mm-hmm. But if you guys can tackle in space, I got Arkansas winning this one 27-20. I just don't feel like I say, they haven't been able to really do a lot. A-Chain's a game breaker. He's gonna make plays, whether it's the kick return, punt return, running back out. He's gonna make plays. It's about the rest of those guys. Evan Stewart should be back, and then you got Anais Williams. But if you guys can tackle, honestly, it might be a little bit worse than 27-20. But I think so too. I think Arkansas is going to win this one 27-20, man. At least that's what I'm going to be taking at my office pool. So don't let me down, Razorbacks.
7-point spread going, you know what I mean? But man, I appreciate the opportunity for coming on, man. It's been fun, brother.
That's right, man. We definitely going to have to link up, man. I'm going to have to come on your channel, man, and get you back over here, man. Yeah. And do that. Go ahead and tell the people again where they can find you at, Marlon.
You can find me at The Hog Wild Podcast on YouTube, The Hog Wild Podcast on Instagram, The Hog Wild Podcast on Twitter, The Hog Wild Podcast on Patreon, and The Hog Wild Podcast on all your podcast listening platforms.
There it is, man. Razorback fans, college football fans, man. You want to hear some good knowledge, especially about the Razorbacks, make sure you check out the Hog Wild Podcast, man. We want to thank Marlon for coming on here, chopping it up with Coach I and the Fan Addict.
Thank you.
As always, we out of here.
I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?